Good for the fans, good for the fighters, good for the managers, good for the promoters. Everybody take his money. Take it, my blessing. Fans enjoy it. I'm not knocking it. He will not be here forever because sooner or later the Saudi government's going to say, why are we wasting all this money on sports? Like, why are we funding sports suddenly? He has no path to profitability. His path to, indulging himself with money that's, you go to an auction, Rick, and bid on a car, and your competitors show up with a printing press of counterfeit money. You're never going to win another auction. This guy's got money to just burn as if it was not real money. So let him run his course. We'll go to Times Square. We'll go to fucking Alcatraz. We'll go to all these other places. But have I ever, in my history, seen a guy spend money in business with no expectation of profitability and burn massive amounts? We're watching something in the history of man we've never seen before. I've never, and I don't know that there's another business case where a lunatic shows up and just says, I have unlimited money to spend recklessly on something. And he's not doing anything to improve the sport. He doesn't have a fucking clue. He's got childish, impulsive ideas. And everybody around him goes, yeah, let's do that. Okay, boss, you're going to pay us a ton of fucking money. We're all going to tell you and do whatever.
At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights.
I put belt to ass, and you can see that's what I do.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Alright, so this is a very important video for True School Sports. This is a video topic that a lot of people have been anxious for me to get to, and I have a lot to say about this, and I've been probably the most vocal person along with Sean Tuttel in boxing media about my feelings on Turki Alalshikh, Riyadh season, and the long-term effects it could have on boxing. Good, bad, or indifferent. Now, you guys know for the most part, not everybody's all bad, but not everybody's all good. The truth normally lies somewhere in the middle. But when it comes to Turkey and Saudi, I've always leaned more towards them being bad for boxing long-term. And, you guys know that, right? So, funny enough, Gary Jonas, the CEO of Probox TV, which is my favorite promotional company in boxing right now. I believe they're the most well-ran company, and I believe that they make the most consistently good cards than any other promotion in boxing right now. That's the truth. He was doing an interview, and he had a lot to say about Turki Alalshikh in Saudi. He had some of the things he had to say were even some things that I say here, and I've been saying here for a long time now. And he probably even said them better than me and Sean Tuttel. So shout out to Gary Jonas. But I'll read you guys an excerpt. Here's what he said. He stated the following, and I quote, Turkey will not be here forever because sooner or later the Saudi government is going to say, why are we wasting all this money on sports? Like, why are we funding sports suddenly? Turkey has no path to profitability. His path is indulging himself with money. You go to an auction where you can bid on a car and your competitors show up with a printing press of counterfeit money. You're never going to win an auction. This guy's got money to burn as if it was not real money. So let him run his course. I have never, ever in my history seen a guy spend money in business with no expectation of profitability and burn massive amounts. We're watching something in the history of man that we've never, ever seen before. So there you go. So Gary said a lot. I'm not going to read every last thing he said because it's a long rant that he had. But I've been saying that to you guys for a while, and the responses that I normally get from boxing fans is, and let's all say it together. Everybody take a deep breath and say it with me. Our new favorite catchphrase here on True School Sports. Say it 3 times. At least we're getting the fights. At least we're getting the fights. At least we're getting the fights. You guys always say, at least we're getting the fights, but now we're at a stage now where you got Dana White involved, TKO Boxing involved. They're putting pay scales in place where they're going to cap the elite class fighters from making 7 figures, just like the same way they do with Francis Ngannou. And I don't think fighters are going to have a high tolerance for that. And I think they're going to have a hard time attracting the upper echelon fighters to their company, right? And so Gary spoke on that, and then Gary also spoke about something that I didn't even think of, which is that, there's there's two companies in America that haven't completely bent the knee to Turkey, which is Al Heyman and PBC, which is one of the power brokers in boxing, and then Probox TV, which is a startup company. They're still very much in development, trying to establish their place in the marketplace of boxing, right? But funny enough, I think Turkey, like Gary said, Turkey is worried about Probox TV because, and I didn't think about this, but he made a great point. In Saudi right now, you have first and foremost you have the WBC Grand Prix, which is a tournament that's happening in Saudi, which is specifically for and strictly for prospects, right? It's a developmental series, and then with TKO boxing and the wages that they've been reported to pay, this is those are like prospect wages for the most part. So I think it is a direct attack on Probox TV. They are trying to go ahead and kill off Probox TV before Probox TV gets any bigger. So it's really interesting, and it was really cool to hear someone who has standing in the boxing marketplace. So we're gonna see how it goes. I think they are trying to create a monopoly. And one point that Gary made that I'll say here, because I do believe this will play itself out if Turki Alalshikh and Dana White don't get the Muhammad Ali Act repealed by the U.S. Congress, because it's a U.S. federal law, then I think what's going to wind up happening is I think that Turki Alalshikh is going to walk Dana White and TKO Boxing straight into an antitrust lawsuit, because here in America, we have laws in place beyond the Muhammad Ali Act. We have antitrust laws which protect from monopolies. Why? Because in the USA, we are an economy that is based upon free market capitalism. To put it in layman's terms, like I said in one of my other videos, if you look at video games, right? When I was a kid, 20 years ago, we had a lot of different football games. We had like Madden, which is very popular, right? We had NFL 2K, which was popular as well, and we had NFL Blitz. And guess what? They were all different games, and they all had to constantly evolve and get better so that they could sell. And the one that could sell the best, the one that was the best game, would sell the most, and that's who would take the majority share of the consumers in the marketplace. And we have these things. America is like this, so that products and goods and services are always trying to raise the bar and be better. Because if you have a monopoly, most of the time there's no reason to get better, right? Look at video games now. Look at Madden now. Madden's been trashed for like 20 years because they haven't had a reason to get better, right? So it's the same principle. You can apply it to boxing. If look at the UFC. The UFC is a very successful company in terms of dollars and cents, but the UFC company, there's division in MMA. Like the UFC champions aren't fighting the Bellator champions. They're not fighting the what is it? The other companies' champions. I'm not an MMA guy, but I know there's other companies. I know Bellator is like the most successful company that's not UFC, the one that I know at least. So like there's division and there's politics in MMA, and you guys want to bring that to boxing? I mean, come on. So Gary is telling the truth, and I do think at some point if they don't get that Muhammad Ali Act repealed, Turkey's gonna get Dana White walked straight into a antitrust lawsuit, and it's gonna get real ugly in boxing. So, we're in a very interesting time. And I'm really intrigued to see how this whole TKO thing goes, because you know what, I'm not gonna name no names, but like I've had trainers, right? I've had trainers that I know personally, and I've had fighters that I know personally contact me. Not any big names, but prospects contact me and say, "Hey, BT, stop talking shit about my promoter. I just signed with Turkey." And I tell them, "Look, get your money." I told the fighters and the trainers, I said, "Get your money, take advantage of it while you can, get exposure, build your career." But don't. I told them, I said, like, I'm gonna keep saying what I'm saying, and I do think this is gonna be a moment in time. And the crazy thing is, I already feel like the best moment in time for Turkey and Saudi and Riyadh season has already happened. I feel like for fighters to get the most they possibly could have, that time has already passed, right? And I even think for the boxing fans, the ones that just don't care about the business of boxing, and they don't care about they just want to see the big fights. I think even for you guys, even for the boxing fans, we're not gonna get the best fights. Like you're not gonna see these supercars like we were getting. I think that time has passed, and that's why Turkey has brought in Dana White to add structure, to add a pay scale, to go ahead and really just not lose money, because again, he's getting money from the Saudi government to get the biggest events for his country, to draw eyeballs to his country, so that people in the West, like us watching this video for the most part, are enticed to go travel and spend our hard-earned money in Saudi and boost their economy. That is the main idea of all this. That's the main objective of all this, right? So, you know, I don't think it'll be sustainable, and I think as time goes on, like it's becoming clearer and clear that I was right about this. What I was saying all those months ago, I was right about this. So look, we're gonna see how it goes. Hopefully, they do make some good fights. But I do think there's gonna be more division in boxing, because Al Heyman is a very smart, shrewd businessman, and he knows how to secure network deals. He's got a long line of contacts. You gotta remember, Al Heyman is somebody that's not a boxing guy. He's a music and entertainment guy. So he goes back to the 80s with Michael Jackson and doing the big tours, doing big events. So his list of contacts and people that he knows is endless. And it would be in the best interest of all boxing fans and Turki Alalshikh to never, ever, ever doubt Al Heyman. That's number one. Number two, now you got Gary Jonas, a guy that's, you know, in boxing circles, like, you guys, the boxing fans, may not know Gary like that, but I know plenty of people in the boxing circles. And when people talk to me about Gary, I get mixed reviews. You know, people say Gary is a great guy to work with, and then I've heard people tell me that Gary Jonas is batshit crazy. But you know what? I think to make it in this boxing business, whether you do media like me, or you're a manager, or you're a fighter, or you're a promoter, whatever the facet of the boxing industry you decide to partake in, you got to be a little messed up in the head. And so I think Gary is crazy in a good way. I think Gary is a driven person, and I think Probox has been one of the most well-run companies, if not the most well-run company in boxing. And they're not paying me to say this. Like, I really believe this shit. I really love what Probox does, and as long as they keep doing what they're doing, I'm not gonna have anything too bad to say about them. So, you know, that's what it is. You guys let me know what you think. What do you guys think about Gary Jonas and Probox? It looks like we're gonna get a war of sorts between the Turkey sphere, you know, Turki Alalshikh, TKO Boxing, Dana White, Riyadh season, and then the last two American promotional companies left, PBC and Probox TV. So, you know, leave your thoughts down below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? I'll be covering this as things continue to develop and give my thoughts, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Feel free to leave them down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys click right over here.
Keep watching my boy BT put on the best interviews out here.